I have 2 original Neve 1073s, and I have 1 API 312, like the earliest ones that Brent Averill made for me and put in their own rack. The Neve 1073, it just works. Like, you can't overdrive it unless you do something crazy. So it works, and it's really fat and punchy for, like drums, bass, and guitar. The API is like the sweetest sounding one I've ever heard. You can overdrive it, but for the right thing, it's a great sound. Guitar, I use a Royer 121 a lot. Like I did a project last year where I used, I think it was a 122. So those are a little bit brighter. I think that's the newer Royer, right? Yeah, so I love Royer microphones on guitar. I used a 121 last week here on bass amp, and it sounded great. For drums on overheads, my first choice is either 251s or C12s. And I have a 251 that they started to make when they started to remake them about 15 years ago. And I remember they gave it to me as a demo and said, "What do you think of this mic? We just redesigned it and want to know if you like it." And I said, "I love it." They said, when can we get it back?" I said, "You can't. I'm keeping it." "Who's going to pay for it?" "I don't know yet, but you can't have it back." So I still have that 251, and I use that on a lot of things. But so it's nice. The 251s, they remake them, and there's a lot of good versions of them now. So I use that on drum overheads a lot. I always EQ before I compress. It's just how it makes sense to me, that you get a sound with the equalizer and then compress that. But sometimes now, I'll just happen to put a compressor in and I go, I'd like that to be brighter. And then I'll just put an EQ after it, because I guess the reason I got in the habit of doing that is because in the days of analog, you wouldn't want to, if you compress something and then EQ'd it, you'd be bringing up tape hiss, because the compression brings up the low level, and if you EQ that, you might have more noise. But now noise isn't a factor. As long as you have the meters and Pro Tools, moving at a healthy level, there's no noise. So the rules are all changing now and don't matter as much. Let me think about this. There's a few really important things if you want to be an engineer now. I think the most important thing is your attitude. Like don't make the recording about you and about what you like. Make sure your client is happy. As far as education goes, I would say get a music degree or study music, and then you can learn the recording process by reading a book or getting hands-on experience. But the degree I think is most valuable is a music degree. Even if you don't get a degree, but study enough about music so you can talk intelligently to the musicians.
Body massage, body massage, body massage, and body massage.
My favorite thing about Thailand is the people. The attitude of the people here is great. In my view, people here seem to care about each other more than people in California. The head of Kimleng Audio is...
Never mind.
No, I'm starting to do many projects for Kimleng Audio and for Gawk, the head of it, and they've been great to me. I'm having a great time working here in this Kimleng studio and doing the projects that Gawk keeps coming up with. It's really fun. Even though I don't like him personally, but his projects are good.